Namo Guruye, Namo Buddhaye, Namo Dharmaye, Namo Sanghaye. Welcome back to the Jewel Ornament of Liberation by Gampopa. So there are 21 chapters. So today we will going to summarize the chapter 7. So in chapter 7 there is loving kindness and compassion. So last session we already summarized the loving kindness. So today we will summarize the compassion part. So compassion is also the foundation of Bodhichitta practice, Bodhisattva practice. And here the Gampopa will kind of summarize the compassion into, for example, the classification of compassion, the object of compassion, identifying the characteristic of compassion, third one. The fourth one is method of practice of compassion. The fifth one is measure of practice of compassion. And then the last one, the sixth one, is quality of the practice of compassion. So now, the classification of compassion is same as the classification of loving kindness. Here the Gampopa say three types of compassion. Compassion with sentient beings as its object, compassion with phenomena as its object, compassion, non-objectify compassion. So here in the 7th chapter, the Gampopa is not really emphasizing so much on this second and third classification of the compassion or loving kindness. He's more focusing on this, the first classification of compassion, which is the compassion with sentient beings as its object. So sentient beings are the object of the compassion. So because most of the practitioner, we are a beginner practitioner. So beginner people, it's a need this compassion with the sentient beings as its object. That's the most important, the beginner practitioner. So the compassion with the phenomena is more little bit advanced compassion, which is like you already have some realization of every phenomena as an emptiness, and every phenomena as an illusion, let's say, So then, like you are not really seeing sentient beings as a real, what we call this, a suffering. You already have some realization everything is illusion and impermanence. So that's a slightly, let's say, advanced compassion. It will come with your realization. And this third classification of compassion is even more advanced. It's more like you already have a realization of emptiness. And you already know that yourself is emptiness, and as well as all the sentient beings are emptiness. And that is like a really advanced, let's say, compassion. So Gampopa is more focusing on the first classification of the compassion. Now we talk about the classification of compassion. So now the object of compassion, especially the compassion with the sentient beings. So here it clearly shows all sentient beings are its object. So the object of compassion is the sentient beings, from hell realm to all the way to God realm, to form and formless, are the object of compassion. Now the third one, identifying the characteristic of compassion. So here Gampopa says, a mind that wants all sentient beings to separate from suffering and its cause. So did you notice that in the loving kindness, the classification of the characteristic is the joy, happiness, and cause of the joy and happiness. But in the compassion, here the identifying the characteristic is the suffering, more like the, let's say, negative part, So wishing all the sentient beings separate from the suffering, or which means never have a suffering. And then also the cause of suffering is negative karma. All the negative karma of body, speech, and mind is the cause of suffering. So the wishing that all the sentient beings separate from the suffering and cause of suffering. So that's a compassion. Nyingje in Tibetan we call it. Karuna, So now that was the third one. Now the fourth one, the method of practice of compassion. So that is I think the most important part of where the Gampopa is emphasizing. So here, the feeling for these life mothers. Now you have to kind of think of the suffering of mother. So your mother is getting old. For example, my mother, now she is taking so many different kind of medicine. She's getting old, and there's a knee pain, back pain, and there is the headache, and sometimes difficult to digest food. So she have to take so many different kind of medicine because in the old age there were so many pains. Even sometimes can't sleep in the night, so need to take a sleeping pill. So like someone you love so much, and seeing sometime when I'm at home, when my mother say I couldn't sleep last night, and feel really like from deepest my heart, I really wish that she don't have that sleeping problem, because if she couldn't sleep, and the next day, the tiredness, and that makes her more, let's say, pain or suffering. So I'm pretty sure most of your mothers now getting old, and slowly with the age so many things will slowly come, and you're witnessing when you have to take your mother to hospital. So of course you don't want mother to feel suffering. So sometimes I'm traveling a lot, and my mother live in Switzerland, and I met her in this 2024 Christmas, and we celebrate together New Year. And now it's already July. It's almost like in the 7th month. But it was 2 months ago, around like May, end of May. Like she keep sending message to me through WhatsApp. Sometimes we talk, and I can feel now she's getting old, and her son is busy, and so I couldn't meet her for 5 months, and I can see that she feel little loneliness, not loneliness in a sense like my other sister and brothers are there, they accompany her, but of course she also wish me to be time to time close with her. So next day I bought the flight, and I didn't tell her. I went to home and ring the bell, and so she was like totally shocked and surprised, and she was crying. And she told me that just yesterday I was missing you, and I was wishing that you are here with me. So that, when parents are getting old and they feel lonely, and they wish their son and daughter to be close to them. And that day I really make myself I have to go to see my mother as much as possible, even though it's a little far from Nepal, or sometime I'm in China. But what they have done to us, it's like you can't pay back whatever you do, but if you can just just visit sometime, that makes them happy, and that makes them like a kind of their loneliness or this can suffering of, let's say, loneliness can solve. That's also kind of compassion to your mother. And when people get old, they're going through so many psychological suffering. We don't know those things. And of course, physically they are going through suffering, and that's why when you think of there are so many suffering of this mother. So if you, Gampopa here is a method of the practice of compassion, Gampopa said, then you slightly kind of think a little bit the broader way. Now those countless mothers from last life, in 10 lifetime before, and 100,000 million trillions of lifetime, countless lifetime, all those mothers, where are they? Whom you love so much, and whom that love you so much. Where are they now? Now the interesting part is, there are so many parents, they do anything for their children. Some parents, they lie, they cheat, they steal to educate their children, to feed their children. So now see, the parents are, as I told you, they sacrifice anything. They are willing to go to hell, but they don't want their children to be suffer. And that's why the process of feeding and caring and sending to good school, the parents has to do so many negative karma. And because of that negative karma, and they reborn in the lower realm. So the countless mothers are right now in hell realm. Not one, not two. Billions of mothers are right now suffering in hell realm. When you really Google it, or nowadays you can chat GPT, or DeepSeek about what is the hell, what is going in hell. You'll find that the suffering in the hell, you will be shocked, And now countless mothers are suffering in hell. And the same there are countless mothers who are right now in the hell realm. And there are also so many kind of, the hunger, the suffering in the hell realm, and as well as in animal realm. There are countless animals, they are especially humans are abusing all those, that animals, So once they are all your mother. So Gampopa here, it says, you have to really kind of, sit and think of this lifetime mother's suffering, and as well as many lifetime mothers right now, they are suffering of hell, suffering of hungry ghosts, suffering of animals, and suffering of many other human beings. And you really wish that may all sentient beings separate from this suffering. May all sentient beings, separate from the cause of the suffering, which is the negative karma. And that is kind of compassion, not only to this lifetime mother, but countless lifetime mother, And this is I think the practice of the compassion, the method of practice. So now The fifth one, the measure of practice of compassion. How to measure it? Like when you practice compassion, how to measure it? Are you improving or not? So here the Gampopa said, when one has fully purified self-cherishing, is fully realized or cut from the chain of self-sharing, when from the depth of the mind one desires all the sentient beings to be free from suffering, then one has perfected the practice of compassion. Again here the Gampopa is emphasizing like this deep wish to all the sentient beings to be free from suffering. Like not only this lifetime mother, if your mother is going through some obstacle or some health or some, like a relation and whatsoever, when the mother is crying, I mean, that's a painful, in our heart, and we really wanted to help our mother. How I can help my mother to reduce this suffering? How I can help mother to solve this suffering of my mother? No matter it's a health problem or any other problems. So same is that if you really one day, the Gampopa, he says, one day you have a same kind of this wish for all the sentient beings free from the suffering, then one can say that you are perfecting all the sentient beings, what do you call the practice of compassion, not just thinking, or not just from the compassion of mouth, but really you feel, and deep down in your heart, you really, each and every cell of body is really wishing to liberate the sentient beings from the suffering and cause of the suffering. So the last one, the sixth one, is the quality of practice, which means the benefit of practice of compassion. So here Gampopa said, limitless quality arise from the practice of meditation on compassion. So there are countless benefits of practicing of compassion, And here the text, the expression of realization of Chenrezig in this text, what it says is, if one had just one quality, the Chenrezig said, it would be as if all the Buddha's Dharma were in your palm. What quality is that? So the one practitioner asked to Chenrezig, so let's say if I have all the, let's say the Buddha Dharma in my palm, all the teachings, all the methods, and asked to Chenrezig, so if I have to only select one method or one practice, what it would be? So here, what quality is that? And the Chenrezig, our Lokiteshvara said, great compassion. The great compassion is everything. This is the heart of this Buddhist practice. And it's when there is a compassion in heart, and there's no way that one will not liberate or enlighten. And when we talk about, oh, he's so great human being, like anyone in this world, when you think of any person, that so-called good human being, they have this quality of great compassion. And even all the Bodhisattva, they have this great compassion. And all the Buddhas, they have a great compassion, So once you have a compassion, the great compassion, you will liberate, for sure, you will become Buddha, for sure, but also you will liberate countless sentient beings with this quality of great compassion. Thank you. Let's practice together the great compassion.